You ever wake up thinking it's just another normal day, and then find yourself at the center of a national news story before lunch? That was us. Me and my sister Layla were heading to San Francisco for a summer tech program at Stanford. We'd worked our butts off to get in late nights, crazy deadlines, real passion. Our dad, Malcolm Reed, the founder of a cybersecurity company now worth north of $7 billion, was supposed to meet us there later that day. But the flight. That flight changed everything. It started the way you'd expect. Uber pulled up to the Houston airport. Me in jeans, clean kicks, button down. Layla in a yellow sundress, always the sunshine in the room. We checked in first class, of course, since Dad had booked it under his global account. The check-in guy barely looked at us before asking, "First class, who booked these?" We told him our dad. He asked for the credit card. We didn't have it. Executive booking. He sighed, mumbled something about verifying with his supervisor. Layla leaned over and whispered, "Is there a problem with our tickets?" I said, "No, there's a problem with how we look." They finally gave us our boarding passes after a manager got involved, but that was just the beginning. TSA randomly pulled us for extra screening even though we had pre-check. Layla's water testing science kit got questioned like it was plutonium. At the airport cafe, we got skipped over in line. The barista pretended not to hear our order until I spoke up. She looked us dead in the eye and muttered, "Didn't hear you." Right. Still, we held it together. We always do. Dad taught us how dignity over drama. But you can only stretch so far before something snaps. We got to the gate. Another round of doubtful glances. The gate agent triple-checked our boarding passes like we were holding fakes. Boarding was called. First class lined up. As we took our seats, 2A and 2B, this flight attendant, Melanie, walked over like a bloodhound on a scent. "May I see your boarding passes?" She asked, tight smile, cold eyes. I showed mine. She barely looked before saying, "These are first-class seats." "Yes, ma'am." I replied, keeping calm. Layla added, "We're in 2A and 2B as assigned." She walked off, but not before whispering to another flight attendant. Next thing we knew, both of them were back. "There seems to be some confusion," the lead guy said. "Would you mind moving to economy while we sort this out?" That's when Layla stiffened. I said, "There's no confusion. We were welcomed aboard. Our seats were confirmed and we're staying right here." Unaccompanied minors usually don't sit in first class. Melanie said, arms folded. "We're not minors," I replied. "I'm 17. She's 15 and we've flown alone plenty. Our father's meeting us in San Francisco." "And who's your father?" she asked like it was a trap. Before I could answer, a voice cut through the cabin like a lightning bolt. That would be me. Heads turned. Malcolm Reed in a dark, tailored suit, 6'3", silver temples, eyes like lasers. He strode down the aisle with the kind of presence that made grown men sit straighter. Melanie went pale. "These your children?" the attendant stammered. "Yes, my children. My company paid for these seats. Would you like to explain to me why you called security on them?" You could hear a pin drop. Security arrived, one black officer, one Hispanic. They asked to see our tickets. Again. My dad didn't raise his voice. He didn't have to. My kids were humiliated because someone couldn't imagine they belonged in this space. Not because of anything they did, but because of what you assumed. Melanie tried to backtrack. I was following protocol. No. Dad cut in. You were following bias. Captain came out. Apologized. offered a private conversation in the galley. Dad took it, but not before saying, "This isn't over. I want accountability." Inside that tiny space, he laid it out for United. He didn't want free flights or miles. He wanted change, real change, public apology, a new training system, documentation. Then he looked Melanie dead in the eye and said, "And I want you to apologize to my children. Not me. Them." That hit different. She did. Right there in front of everyone. Face tight, voice low, she said sorry for assuming, for embarrassing us, for not seeing us clearly. We nodded. Didn't smile. Didn't need to. But here's the thing. Passengers had been filming everything. By the time we landed, the video had over 1 million views. Hashtags like "Hatch First Class While Black" were trending. Reporters were waiting at the gate. Cameras everywhere. Dad made a statement, said, "This isn't news because it happened. It's news because I had the power to stop it." But what about the families who don't? He wasn't wrong. Over the next few weeks, United revamped its bias training, created a new executive role. Other airlines followed suit. Even Wall Street took notice. Their stock dipped after the video went viral. 6 months later, my sister's app to report discrimination was in beta testing, backed by a tech incubator. I got early admission to MIT. We even launched a scholarship program for minority students in aviation. And Melanie, she didn't quit. She did the training, worked with United's inclusion team, and now speaks at events about what she learned. It didn't fix everything, but it started something. A few months after the flight, we flew again, same airline. No side eyes, no second glances, just normal. A black flight attendant came over, quiet smile. "It's an honor to serve you today," she said. "My brother just got your foundation's scholarship." That's when I realized this wasn't just our story anymore. It belonged to anyone who's ever been asked to prove they belong. Anyone who's been doubted, dismissed, or disrespected because of how they look. And it's far from over. So let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a space where people assumed you didn't belong? Have you ever seen it happen to someone else and stayed quiet? Drop a if you think we're moving in the right direction. Drop a if you think we still have a long road to go. And tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were on that flight? Because the next time it happens, someone's going to need you to speak up. Thanks for listening. And if this story moved you, share it. Someone out there needs to hear it today.